Welcome to Lesson 1, Part 1 of improving your développé devant, so improving our extensions front. In this lesson we'll be looking at exercises to improve your extensions to the front, and later we'll be looking at stretches and imagery. Now, when you développé to the front, obviously it's a lot about flexibility, but without the strength, once again, things can get difficult. And it can be a little bit quad heavy when you're développéing to the front. So we don't want the top of the legs working too much, which can often happen if you're doing it slightly wrong or aren't as connected with the backs of the legs. So that's what all these exercises are about, I'm about to show you. So we get a bit more connection backs of legs and also in the body. Yeah, so there's a big muscle here called the psoas muscle, which is really important when we're extending the leg to the front. So we'll get into that now. First of all, I just want us to work slowly and concentrate on doing a développé devant on the floor and seeing what muscles we're using. So we're going to lie down, keeping our body nice and long, and I want you to initiate the movement from the back of the glutes, and you're going to peel the leg into you, making sure you're not overworking the hip flexor, which can happen. Lead with the heel, using your inner thighs, and then I want you to push down with the hamstring as if you're pushing something down to lower. So we're taking all the strain away from the hip flexors and the quads and removing it and moving the focus to the backs of the glutes, inner thighs and hamstrings. Let's do a couple more here. Notice if you're swinging off the leg as well. One more. Extend, heels forward, and push down. Good, let's do the other side. So you may find that one leg's a little less turned out than the other one, so when you peel the foot, it might want to go like this. Try to relax the hip out so you naturally let your skeleton turn out, and then use the muscle to present the heel forward. Part of increasing your flexibility devant as well as your strength, is knowing when to try really hard and when not to. Sometimes we can over tense, which again will inhibit your movement. Push down, as well as engaging the supporting leg, squeezing the glute. And come down slowly. Good, shake out the legs. So now you'll have a little idea of where your muscle tension is coming from. You might be holding too much here. So that now we're going to get into progressing the other muscles so we get a little more engaged elsewhere. So we're going to be on our elbows now. Now this movement I learned when I was doing a lot of gyrotonics. And you breathe out, you push down with the other leg, and we curl the knee to our forehead. And we're going to repeat that, and we're going to go each side. So you push in. This is all about training the psoas muscle. So there's no tension in the hip flexor. It's all coming from, it's like you're drawing up this tendon, like a lever pulling up. So you draw in and change with a squeezing breath. Change. Closer. Really activating deep in the abdominal muscles, getting the knee closer and closer. The spine can curve a little bit. Push down with the supporting heel. Good, keep it going. So you're really squeezing nice and tight in the abdominals. Change. Let's do 4 more. So now we're going to progress this exercise to you squeeze and extend. Change. You squeeze, extend, keeping the back where it is. So the muscle activation should be coming from that psoas. We're in parallel. Trying to get the knee to your forehead. Push down with the supporting leg, as this helps activate the backs of the glutes and hamstring, which is what we need for when we stand up. Two more. Good. Now we're going to do it one more time, this time in turnout, so we can really try to see if we can take this feeling to a turned out position. So we're going to start normally, and as you extend, turn out the legs, keeping that squeeze in the stomach muscles, turning out the top leg. 4 more. Real abdominal workout here. Last one. And relax down. Good. Now, I don't know about you, but it really also helps engage those stomach muscles a lot. Now, because we're on the forearms, it really trains your rib cage to draw in, which is what you want. So when you're doing these nice développé extensions, you don't want your ribs sticking out, because again, we're losing that control. So ribs nice and down, and we're kind of training that lever motion to get the leg up, Devant. Now we're going to move on to an exercise that is all for the back of the leg, so the supporting leg now, which is obviously super important, because if you struggle with développé Devant, then you may find that when you extend the leg to the front, you might sit back a little bit in your supporting leg, which we'll look at a bit later on. But it's crucial this supporting leg stays nice and pulled up throughout. So we're going to come onto our elbows, flexed feet, push up to a little forearm plank, and we're just going to extend the leg 8 times with the right, training this supporting leg. So really feel the wrap of the leg and the squeeze of the glutes. So we go up and down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Changing legs. Here we go. No swinging around. Good. Relax. We're going to do that one more time. Shake out the legs. Breathe in, wrapping the legs even more. Here we go. Squeezing the base of your supporting leg. Change. And relax. Good work. So by now, we've trained the front of the body, yeah, lifting the leg up, and the supporting leg, so the back of the body as well. One final exercise we're going to do is grand battements. So we're going to lie down. This is an explosive movement. So we're trying to take the muscle activation we've learned into a more energetic and dynamic move. So you're going to push down with the supporting leg, once again wrapping the back of the leg and using that lever feeling and the psoas muscle here. You're going to scoop up. So like we did with the squeezing breath exercise, I want that feeling when that leg's coming up. Squeeze. Squeeze the abdominals. Last one. Relax. Good. Let's try the other side. It may take you a few to get into it. So you activate the backs of the legs, stomach muscles. Two more. Good, relax. Good. Excellent, well done. So that's lesson 1 of développé devant and improving the extension front. Those are my top exercises that I would do to really activate the right muscles, which is key, in order to get the leg nice and high to the front. So do these exercises as often as you can. They can be a part of your pre-class routine as well, just doing a few repetitions. And now I'm going to get into the stretches in lesson 2, so we can now really combine strength and flexibility to get the leg up. Welcome back to lesson 1, part 2 of improving your extensions devant. Now I'll be showing you some of my favorite stretches you can do to really improve your flexibility when you're lifting the leg in front. Now I've got my trusty chair here because I'm going to show you a couple of stretches on the chair that you can do. So this stretch is quite beginner, and so you just need to put your leg on the chair and you can fold the other leg behind you, but this already might be a bit difficult for some of you in your hip, so in which case just extend the leg out to the side and relax it there. But the optimum position is to have it a little bit behind you and then have the leg in front like this. And then all I want you to do is hinge in your hips over your leg and hold this position. And you should already feel a really nice hamstring stretch. And this is good to do before class or at night time, before you go to sleep, so you can really lengthen out your muscles. And you want to stay here for as long as required that you feel your knee slightly releasing down towards the floor, so there's a kind of stretch behind the knee going on, which usually can take 5 minutes or so. We're not going to do it that long today as I'm just demonstrating, but we'll hold it for a little while together. So even for someone like me who's trained to get really flexible, I would always start with this one, so to kind of really get my the backs of my legs really nice and warm and loose slowly. It's never a good idea to do things quickly when you're stretching, or you can risk hurting yourself. And initially this stretch can feel quite difficult, but then as you get into the stretch and you feel the backs of your legs relaxing, try to then lengthen your lower back so it's really nice and long. So you're really reaching your lower back out and down towards the floor. Now, if you are on your way to being really flexible, you can then extend this position to a full oversplit. So I'm going to show you obviously some more stretches after this, which ideally you do before you end up here, but since we have the chair here, I'll show you. So you just need to then extend the leg behind. You can start with a nice hip flexor stretch here, and then slowly extend to your full split. So we're nice and square here. And this will take time to get. I made a mistake, of when I was about 14 and I just watched some rhythmic gymnastics and they were all doing this, and so I instantly went into this stretch trying to do it and then tore my hip flexor. So it's never a good idea to just be impatient with yourself. Really take your time with the stretching and let yourself lengthen out slowly. But then you can work up towards doing a big stretch like this. Right, so we'll leave that one there, and then we'll do just quickly the other side to even ourselves out. Hamstring stretch, leg behind, and hinge at the hips. Try to keep your hips as square as possible so you're not twisting, because again we're trying to simulate doing a développé devant, to the front. So if we're not square here, then neither will our développé be square. So we've got to make sure our hips are nice and in place. So we'll just hold it here together for a few more moments before we move on. Let's take one more breath in. Good, so ideally you'd be holding that for about 5 minutes. Let's move on now. So I'm just gonna move the chair and then we'll move on to some hip flexor stretches. All right, so I'm gonna extend the right leg out in front and we're just gonna start with a basic hip flexor stretch. So make sure your hips are nice and square, tuck under the pelvis, sink forwards. So you get a nice, lovely stretch down the front of the leg. Make sure your knee is in line with your ankle so you're not going over too much. And this is how I want you to start. So if this is quite easy for you, then we can develop it into slightly more difficult, where we bend over and stretch the side of the body and hook the arm over. So we're getting a deeper stretch down the front of the leg. And to develop it that bit further, I want you to grab the foot and bring it in towards your glutes, yeah? So this is kind of simulating the supporting leg, because we need that range of the supporting leg to be nice and flexible so that the other leg can get up. All right, so let's hold this. These are great to do right before your class, so you have that range of motion from when you get up and do your bar work. And it's also, I find this is a very good stretch for showing how flexible you're getting, because if you're here at the moment, then that's fine, but then we can work towards getting just closer and closer and closer and closer, so you'll know if you're improving. It's really obvious. All right, let's do the other side. Tuck under the pelvis and sink forwards. Holding here. Nice and square, and reaching up and over. Take notes of all these stretches so then you can do them all in your spare time, and like I say, hold them for as long as you need. There's no rush when it comes to stretching. Good, and let's grab the foot, bring it in. One leg might be tighter than the other one, that's totally fine. For me, this leg's definitely tighter bringing it in. You just want to hold that one just a little bit more. Good, let's take 2 more breaths. Good, one more. All right, excellent. Relax. Good. All right, now we're going to go into our pigeon pose. So we're just going to go back into the hip flexor stretch, take the foot across and open the knee out to the side. Trying to get our knee to the floor, our hips nice and square. Now you might be like this at the moment, which is totally fine. Support yourself in your arms and slowly breathe into your hip. You want to finish this session feeling like your knee has just got a little bit closer, okay? And then eventually you'll get it down to the floor. Let's hold it here. And then you can just relax down to the floor, elbows on the ground. And this position is kind of mimicking what you do with the développé. So it's the front leg now. So we want to create this nice turned out position as you extend to the front. And that's what this stretch is doing for us. So we're kind of stretching all areas of that développé that we need to do. The hamstring, the back of the glute, and the supporting hip to make that movement as seamless as possible. Lengthening nice and long and relaxed. All right, good. So we'll do that on the other side. All right, find your square hips. Forward you go, bring the foot across and let the knee go out to the side. Square the hips up and stay here nice and tall. And let's go forward slowly. I want you to imagine you're lengthening your tailbone out nice and long. You always want to aim to have a nice long lower back so that you're not rounding the spine. Yeah, we always want a nice straight spine. And the more you lengthen your lower back, you'll feel a greater stretch in your glute. Good, hold here for a moment. Good, one more breath in. And relax. Good. That's one of my favorite stretches to hold for a really nice amount of time, because when you come out of it, your legs feel, really nice and floppy out to the side because your hips have really opened up. So make that one, a regular one you do all the time. Now we're going to stretch the turnout for the leg in front, and this is a great one. So we're going to use our left leg first. So you're going to get your right hand and wrap underneath and grab the toes on top. Yes, I'll show that one more time. Right hand goes underneath and you grab the left toes on top. Let's extend the bottom leg out. Bring the left arm behind you and you extend up and down. Now you might be able to only extend here for now if you're a little bit tight in the hamstring. No problem. Just extend up and down nice and slowly. And then slowly make your way to doing the full stretch, trying to keep your back as long as possible. So I want you to start with just stretching and bending, and then you're going to go forwards a little bit, turning out the heel even more, so you use your arm to present the heel forward and come back up. Down, back up. Down, so we're stretching the turnout of the lower leg and the hamstring at the same time. Back up. Good, let's do 2 more. Good. And then we're going to slide down all the way. So try to keep this wrap as we slide down. If you need to let go, because like I say, you're a little bit tight, no problem. You can work up towards it, so slide all the way down, keeping the hand wrapped. If you need to move the hand to further down, that's totally fine. But if you can, even better. And we're going to push into the leg 4 times for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're using the base of your glute. 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Breathing out. I want you to concentrate on lengthening your spine, because we can't have a développé with a rounded spine. And again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Last time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So as you can see, it wants to relax and get closer and closer to your forehead. The active stretch of pushing into your hand, tensing the muscles, then releasing will help your flexibility greatly. So I highly recommend you do that one. So let's do all that on the other side now. So we're lengthening this leg out. I'm going to hook the left hand underneath and grab the right toes. Let's bring the right arm behind, and you're going to slowly work your way to extending the leg and bend. Extend, bend, extend, bend slowly, up and down, up and down. Every time you extend, push into your hand, work towards really lengthening your lower back longer. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll be folding forwards. And down and up. Bring it to your forehead. Stretch the hamstring. Down. Up. 4. Increase the turnout heel forwards. down. Last one, down and up, sliding down all the way. And push into the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Again, push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Good. And again, push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Last time. Push. 2, 3. Really push. 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe out. Relax the hip, lengthen the spine. Let go. And the 90 degrees for your développé should already feel easier now, because initially this can feel difficult getting to this position, and slowly come down. Good. Right, so now I'm going to show you a few stretches on the bar. So we're going to stand up. So facing the bar, just a simple one you can do right before your ballet class. Say you're waiting for the teacher to come in. Let's put the leg on the bar and we'll just stretch up and over, holding here. Try to be as square as possible in the hips, and like we did on the floor, lengthen the spine. It should actually feel a little bit easier here because the floor's not stopping you. Lengthen the spine nice and long. And you can just kind of let your body weight relax here and help you stretch, you know, by getting the body weight to push the knee down a little bit more. So we're not only stretching our leg devant, but also like our hyperextension here, which creates that kind of knee down feeling. Then we're going to develop this to a nice full stretch. Don't worry if you can't do this right now, you can work towards it. So we'll do the same wrap we did on the floor. So the left arm comes underneath and grabs the toes. And first of all, find this position. So if you can't stretch this leg underneath, then already you're probably lacking in a little bit of flexibility of your hip flexor. So keep stretching the hip flexors like we discussed. Then try to find this position. So your leg is in front, that's the next stage, nice and square. If you're like this, you need to work on your hamstring flexibility so you're nice and square. Then stretch all the way. Nice and square. Really rotate this leg in the socket. Hold. Trying to be nice and tall in the spine. Then we're going to develop it to a passe. Extend front and hold. Passe. Extend front and hold. Passe. Extend front and hold. One more. Passe. Extend front. Hold. Really feel that range of motion. Let go. Come down. Good. Let's do that on the other side. So put the right leg on the bar. Find your squareness. Reach up and over the leg. Nice and long lower back. Long down the backs of the legs. Holding here for a while. Let your body weight take the leg down. This is such an easy stretch to do, and you can do it literally anytime you're in the studio. Waiting for an exercise to start, waiting for the class to start, at the end of the class, you know. You can do it at home, on any kind of counter. Don't necessarily need a bar. Right, into the next one. So wrap the right arm around and stretch underneath the hip. Find that hip flexor stretch to begin with. Then find the stretch to the front, hold. Stretch the leg underneath. Try to go backwards a little bit more. Hold, 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 hold. And then passe. Really rotating the hip in the socket, stretch. Long lower back. Again, passe. Rotating the hip in the socket, extend. Again, passe. Knees over toes, stretch. Last one, up, plie, Stretch, 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 stretch. Release, and come down. Good. All right, so those are my favorite stretches to do for développé devant. Already your leg will feel a little bit looser, you know, in the socket as you lift. So fantastic, keep them up and keep doing them all the time. And now we're going to move on to imagery in the next lesson, where we can show you all the things we've done, the exercises, the stretches, and now what to think about when you're actually doing the développé. All right, so welcome to lesson 1, part 3, where I'll be taking you through the imagery of now doing the développé. So we've done all the elements of the exercise and strengthening. So let's talk about the actual développé itself. So as you développé, we're going to wrap that heel forwards, like we did in that stretch earlier. I want you to really think about pushing down with the supporting leg. So we never want to sit in the supporting leg, because if this is shorter, it really inhibits this leg getting up. So you want to really push down and pull up in the supporting leg so you can almost bounce on the ball of the foot. Then you push down as you extend, lifting this hinge, lifting up slowly, and come down. Let's try that one again. So you développé, push down with the supporting leg, hinge, present the heels forward, push down even more, and come almost forwards on this hip. Hold, and come down, yeah? So I want you to try that slowly for yourself, implementing that. Always never forget about the supporting leg. Find the hinge, present the heel forward, come up taller, and then grow taller as you lower, yeah. So thank you so much. This is lesson 1 complete for développé devant. Next we'll be doing the side and écarté, and I can't wait to share with you all my secrets and tips. See you soon.